Hey guys, how's it going? I'm on the floor here looking at one of these bits boxes I have. It's kind of a bits box and it's a kind of unfinished projects box. So what I'm going to do is pick out some that I suppose I don't think I've shown off before and see what you think. And some of them are almost finished. Like check this guy out. This is a Stormboy Orc, Stormboy 40k Orc. And I suppose the idea of this guy is he's got a helicopter hat, helicopter helmet, if you can see there. Very orky, bits and bobs doesn't make any sense. He's standing on top of the rock there. I think he stands up pretty good. Like, I mean, his balance is pretty good. Might weigh him down, which mightn't be a bad idea. But he's got the equipment of a storm boy. He's got the chopper and slugger there. But he was a lot of fun. He's actually almost finished as well. I suppose I kind of get inspiration and you want to make something and then not necessarily finish it through all the time. Like, let's see. This is a this is a squig I sculpted a good while ago. I might have even showed a kind of work in progress. Same thing again. I mean, he's almost done. It's all green stuff. I think it was around just a little peg or a little kind of a bead kind of idea. And he's got enough teeth, I think. So yeah, I mean, I could just finish him up, but I suppose I haven't. It kind of comes and goes. A kind of inspiration between, oh, I want to finish. I want to work on orc stuff, or I want to work on fantasy stuff. Like this is another orc project. Was a knob. Basically the idea for this guy is, if I remember correctly, that he's actually in a tiny little buggy. You see, so this is how it would work here. He's actually based on this little buggy, so he's actually quite small of an orc, but he's got this sweet little buggy and this huge claw, this huge power claw here. He's got the body of a really old, I think it's out of production, orc, probably mech boy from one of the vehicles. You can see his leg going down in there. So I was trying to work out how he would actually drive the vehicle. That's what these levers are from here. Because making a steering wheel would have been pretty tricky. So that one probably stumped me, and then I kind of gave up on it because I knew I had to rivet up all these. I have a tiny bit done here, but I knew I'd have to put loads of tiny rivets on that, so it kind of killed my buzz, we'll say. Yeah, but the kind of buggy he's on is from a Kinder Surprise toy. So you see him, he used to be based on this, kind of doing a big ramp here, and he's got his kind of weird squeak hound type thing, which is from Hassle Free Miniatures, and I just gave him some bulbous eyes coming out the side there with some ball bearings. But yeah, that's I kind of just got stumped on that one because I had to bring his arm in here and then have it connected to either a lever or a steering wheel, and I just hadn't left myself enough space, which is kind of a pity, but it's kind of a I didn't really plan it out, we'll say. A few other guys. This guy's basically finished. I think this guy's done, really. So this guy's just a HeroClix. He looks almost like Iron Man or something. Obviously he's not actually Iron Man, but I probably didn't even respray him. I didn't undercoat him. I bet you I just kind of dry brushed some metal over him and put that ruby in his chest to show off. Potentially that's his big weak spot, which is a stupid idea. I suppose to put that in the front of your chest, but yeah, he's pretty cool actually. Pretty cool guy, kind of Iron Man kind of idea. I think it is because he's kind of shooting beams from his palms of his hands there. What else we got? Oh yeah, these guys are all basically done, but I mean they're kind of nonsensical in any way. Like that's just literally a repainted Moshi monster. I just thought it was quite goofy. I don't know. This was some of my earlier videos. I was using a lot of Moshi monsters for stuff, and that's literally just a toy frog as a giant frog. So I mean, I really don't see the point in actually ever buying a miniature of a giant frog when you can just get a toy frog. That fair enough, the sculpting isn't going to be as good, but come on, it's it's going to be so much cheaper. And really, how much do you really care how well your giant frog miniature looks like? What else we got? Oh yeah, so I suppose these guys are from Zombicide. Don't know which one exactly, but at one point I was going to get into the more modern games where you'd have, modern characters and fighting creatures or that kind of thing. I love the idea of having a miniature like represent yourself as close as possible, but I kind of went out of that. I probably started watching a series on YouTube or something where people were doing that, and then I was like, oh, that'd be so cool. Like, I suppose this guy'd be me. I don't have an automatic shotgun in real life, but I thought this guy was pretty cool. And he's got the specs and the hoodie and stuff. What else do I got? I got these bits in here that are actually pretty sweet. So these are, I can't remember what company they're from, but there's plenty of companies online. Little bits for putting on cars for things like Gaslands. Like, that's pretty sweet. That's a rocket launcher. So to the Barbarian, I mean, you could use it as something for 40k, or maybe it's a little bit detailed for that. But the scale is more so made for, yeah, Gasland. So you pop them on your, like, look, just pull this out of nowhere. You know, you can pop a rocket launcher on top of the Batmobile if you really want to bring it to the next level, you know, that kind of thing. So they're actually fun little bits that I got. This guy as well. So was it a week or two ago? I showed some miniatures that were key rings that I got from eBay from One Piece. Same thing again. I don't know what character this was originally, but he's been slowly getting customized. So his shield is a big button. I just thought that was pretty sweet because it's obviously got that kind of texture on it already. Fair enough. It's fabric texture doesn't really make sense on a shield on the protective side. Maybe on the inside for padding, but I just thought it looked cool because it had these kind of tassels on it as well. This guy obviously isn't, finished or anything. His sword, I wanted to make very cartoony, chunky. As you can see here, it's very it's very very silly, like the guard and everything. It's kind of trying to sculpt his hand there. I don't know how well that was really coming out, but it's kind of that. I had been working on it a little bit, like you see, the green stuff here and a little tiny bit here. I must have just lost interest, and I gave him some cool Viking horns and a little goatee for no reason at all, really. But he was going to be like a big fighter or a warrior or something like that. Like, look, scale wise, it's ridiculous, Same thing as usual, but he would fit in with the Super Dungeon Explorer type guys. Or if you want to do a campaign like that, or if you want to get a load of keyrings, do a campaign like that. Yeah, same thing. Look, big snake. That's from one of those creature toy sets. Could be like 10 quid, 20 quid or something. You get a ton of them in it. And there's your giant snake or your giant cobra, spitting cobra. You could potentially use it to make a naga as well if you want to sculpt the face on it. Chop off just a snake face. Might be a little bit tricky, but I mean, you could just go with the big snake as well, and it's a lot cheaper, and it's probably the sculpt is just as much or just as good. These guys, little Electrobuzzes from some of those Pokemon figure sets that I've shown you before. When I get doubles, or even triples or whatever, I kind of want to make something decent out of them or use them to represent a pretty common monster. Because you can actually use them more often in encounters if you have multiples, because they're kind of small and minion-like. This is something different. Yeah, this is kind of weird, I suppose. This was Mime Jr., I think the Pokemon's name is. Yeah, that's pretty stupid Pokemon name in my opinion, but Mime Jr. is a pre-evolution to Mr. Mime. And so this guy was getting the job. Just doing some sculpting on him just for no reason. I think this was another one of those things where every time I do be working on something bigger with green stuff, if I have any left, I would just pop it on this guy and give him something. So that's why he's got weird things like a little mustache and ears and these weird ear things, and yeah, not much sense going on there, but I thought it's better than leaving it go to waste. Okay, I'll finish up with these guys. So this was a Captain America HeroClix. It's quite dark, it's kind of hard to see. I thought his pose was really cool, low down to the ground. It looked like an actual, I don't know, it made sense in action kind of pose. He's got a pretty big shield. So the shield is this cardboard with green stuff over it. Now, I'm not actually sure if I showed this guy before ages ago. I feel like I might have done. But as you can see, I've done absolutely nothing to him new. Like, I think he's pretty good to go. Like, his colors aren't too overstated, or they're not too flamboyant. I think he'd be pretty cool as a PC. I'd be pretty happy with this miniature. Like, it's cool pose and everything. He's got a few extra little bags, and he's got the big shield and the spear. I don't know if that's a very usable weapon combination, but he's there anyway. There's another HeroClix, I'm pretty sure. I have no idea what it was based on. This was back when I was putting everything on cardboard bases, which is totally fine. Like, it's actually a pretty cheap way of doing it, but sometimes, especially with the bigger miniatures, it kind of warps and it looks pretty bad. So this lady, I suppose, could be a fighter or a cleric or something like that. Even that shield is quite small. It's more like a buckler or something. And the sword was originally quite thicker, I think, so I chopped it down a little bit. That's why it's slightly off center, but I think it works. She's pretty cool. Could be like, yeah, like I said, fighter, cleric, or something like this. She looks like she's ready for action. Yeah, I think I'll leave it at that, guys. That's a little bit of one of these work in progress boxes that I kind of put away and then I forget I have, and I open up, I'm like, oh yeah, wow, I really need to finish these guys up, because so many are almost done, and then I can just put them in the done box and take them out of here and replace them with something else. But anyway, you know how it is. Thanks for watching, guys, and I suppose subscribe if you like to. I'll try keep popping stuff out and showing you what I'm doing. And same thing again, if you have your own stuff you want to show off, guys, make a couple of videos, even if it's just a few screenshots or a few photos, because I think that'd be pretty sweet to see what everybody's doing out there. All right, thanks, guys. Good luck.